All right, Aaron, it's good to have your conversation. Good to meet you. Good to hear about the sound, good to hear about the band, the sound, and the fury. Welcome to Nobody's or Somebody's podcast. Aaron, how are you?
Good. Thank you, Chad, for having me. I've been listening to several of your podcasts and I've been enjoying
Uh-oh.
them. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Good. I've been listening to several of your songs too, so it's good to get the chance to talk to you and learn more about them and learn more about the band.
Yeah, it's been a good revitalization of coming back with the Sound and the Fury. So I appreciate you giving us some love.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now you say coming back, which I'm surprised I didn't realize this, but digging back into your catalog, you guys have been around, formed around 1998, or at least your first record, Alter Ego, I think, or an EP was released around that time. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I went to high school with several of the guys, and we recorded an album in '98. John Floyd Whitaker joined us from another band, and he stuck with us for years and years. Jay Casson, our bass player, he was a couple years older than us, but Jeff and I, we were high school friends and connected through music. And we're really surrounded by the same people. Jay, John Floyd, Jeff, even the guy who recorded and produced that album in '98 still runs sound for us live today. So
That's
we got
good.
we got the same nucleus of people around us. We did have some other drummers for a little while who set in for us when we were touring, and now we're back to our original lineup. So, and that this new album, Momento Mori, is the original lineup of all of us. Actually, I'm sorry, I should say it's also got my son playing involved. He's the one who kind of
Nice.
got us reconnected with music. His interest in music took off, and then all of a sudden we started reconnecting after years of a hiatus.
How long was your hiatus? As because you've been together, like you said, since '98, which doesn't seem that long ago, but actually is a whole other lifetime ago compared to what's going on now. So, was there a period? How long was the period of time that you guys weren't together?
Well, so my son's 17, and it was all of those years
Oh wow,
almost.
17 years.
Yeah,
Wow, that just
yeah.
flies right
So
by too.
yeah, 90. We started playing together, I guess, in '95, '96. We recorded in '98. We did a full length Alter Ego, which used to be the band name until we found out we had to change it. We picked the Sound and the Fury. Jeff, our singer, thought it was cool. We didn't think it through and realized that there's the book, there's the movie, there's vocal group,
Yeah, I
there's all
realize there's a
these
movie
things.
too. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, too.
Yeah, that makes it interesting finding us. But
Yeah, yeah.
stuck
Well,
with the
someone
Sound and
can
the Fury.
happenstance find you too. They might be looking for something else, like the movie or the book or something, and they find, oh, there's a band called this too. Is it based on the book or the movie? They might get these first impressions, but it will drive people to check you out, I would think.
Well, we're hoping so. If you put in the Sound of the Fury band in any search engine or YouTube, we got a YouTube channel now that we've been promoting as well. So if you put in the Sound of the Fury band, you should find us. We're just not the vocal group from England or Europe or wherever they. But
Yeah, I'll get them next.
uh, so Alter Ego was like 13 songs, I think, and then we did a short EP after that called The Wisdom, and then that was like 2002 maybe, and then in 2004 I think we put out another stage, and that was with drummer Nathan Russell, and we toured with him for several years, and I think it was around 2006 after some heavy touring we hung it up for a little while. We all broke apart, started having kids, just living our life as with raising families and stuff, and then reconnected. We kind of moved around the country, several of us. So Jay, our bass player, and John Floyd, our drummer, were still local, but we only got together like once a year and just shared a couple drinks. But then when my son Drake, he started taking an interest in guitar and then later drums, and then that just stirred this whole thing back up. He picked it up quickly, so we started working on Jeff, our singer, lives down in San Antonio, so we were file sharing and sending him little tracks that we were working on, and he'd throw vocals on it, send it back, and then we invited John Floyd to get involved playing drums. So Jeff or Drake, my son, moved to guitar. He's kind of moved around, been the Swiss Army knife to fill in on
Yeah.
any instrument. So, but he's helped us write the songs on multiple instruments. He's written parts on drums, he's written parts on guitar, and he performs with us now as well. So he's sticking in there with a bunch of old guys.
That's amazing. That's good. Yeah, that's good to hear. You taught him well. Did he want to kind of get you guys back together? Did he want to just do music with you? Did he have an idea for that, or just him playing music in general made you think, I could do this too, and then you kind of wanted to be back with the band, or like was it just that easy a process, or did you have to kind of think it over for a minute?
I went 10 years without playing guitar once. Like I hung it up and didn't play it. I had it all in storage, but I didn't touch it. And I always thought, I got 4 kids. I always thought I would have them all be musicians, because I just think it's a skill that helps you in life. You can carry it throughout your entire life, right?
Yeah.
And so I was pushing it on Drake and telling him he needed to pick an instrument, need to play. I was forcing guitar on him, being a guitar player. He did not want to do it originally.
He's
He
the
would
oldest, right?
He's my second oldest,
Second
and
oldest,
my stepdaughter was a little bit older than him. But
gotcha.
so I wanted them all to be musicians. He was my test bed to kind of force it on him, and he rejected it. He wanted to take
Shocking.
lessons from somebody else.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it. He was young enough that he didn't really know of the Sound of Fury. He didn't really know what it was. But then I bought a drum set. He started playing, bought a drum set, and I thought, all right, we'll just have a band room. We'll set up. And I wasn't even really playing yet. I picked it up to play a little bit with my son, but I wasn't really doing anything. But when Drake got behind the drum set and just started wailing on the drums, he was playing guitar and then he switched to drums. That's where it was like, all right, I can jam with him. It's
Nice,
different
yeah.
playing, with the drummer. So that's when we started buying a little bit of recording equipment and sending it to Jeff, and rekindled a friendship with Jeff after years of just not even talking, just raising families and stuff. And we realized that we both missed each other's creative process, and we thought we were stronger together than we were apart. And I have to say, Jeff, he's gone on and played music the entire time. He's made a career out of making music, but he's been in San Antonio, us being around the Kansas City, Missouri area. We just didn't cross paths for all those years. So it reconnected us online, and then we started recording. Originally, it was just going to be some, small basement, right? Recording stuff like that, just with some gear. Because nowadays, with technology, unlike when we were coming up, it's so much easier to record now. It used to be you had to have some
Book some studio time and get it into place and go to a facility, everyone get together, which is nice when you can do it. But if you guys are spread around the country, like you said, so you can't do that just like that when you want.
Yes, it was a little bit challenging at first, and I'm a guitar player. That doesn't mean I know how to record us, right?
Right. Yeah. You're not a producer.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so we started recording some demos, and we thought we should just take this to the studio. And there was a little bit of a hesitation, because if we'll just keep getting better doing this, these home recordings. People are doing it. People are creating careers, by recording out of their house, right?
Yeah.
And we had some good stuff, but I knew that I was a strong believer that the songs were strong enough that we needed somebody else to focus on that side of it, where they could just capture us. So we did record time, just a band in Kansas City. We booked some time in a local studio.
Just the band without John,
studio.
I assume?
Oh yeah, without Jeff. Yeah, we just recorded. We were just going to lay down some tracks. We scheduled like 20 hours. Thought maybe we get some drums and bass done, maybe some guitars, and we were going to piece it all together like we did back in the old days with Pro Tools and everything. You could build the song up, right? And we went in and I kind of had a secret mission that I wanted to record it live, and Paul, our engineer, he was kind of like, yeah, but we're just going to keep drums, right? Yeah, we're not really going live, right? I said,
not what I had in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if they're good enough, let's see what we can keep, right? So we're all set up, and before we hit record, he's like, yeah, we're really only planning on keeping drums, right? I said, yeah, but let's see what
happens. Exactly. Yeah.
So in 3.5 hours, we had recorded all the songs.
Oh wow!
And we went back and listened to them, and we, other than adding a guitar solo in one song and adding a third guitar part in one of the songs, because Jeff wasn't there to play, that we captured it live in the studio. So the album that we just released, Momento Mori, is us live in the studio. Now, Paul, God bless him, he did some of his magic on mixing it and producing it. But
Right.
the raw tracks were us live in a room. Instruments were ISO'd out, but we're standing there right with John Floyd on drums. Drake's on the recording with us playing rhythm guitar. And what we thought was going to take 20 hours, we'd gotten done in 3.5 hours, and we didn't know what we were going to do with the rest of the studio time.
Yeah. It's
So,
a nice problem to have. Yeah. All this
so
extra time.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was. We were surprised, honest to God, because it had been years. I mean, we'd rehearsed obviously and everything, but it'd been years since we'd been in the studio together. So we flew Jeff in then and got him to lay down the tracks or lay down the vocals for it, and just gave him free reign, do whatever you want to do. I mean, he was rehearsed as well. He had already been recording the songs himself in his home studio. So he knew how he wanted to approach it. But, he came in, nailed the vocal tracks, and now we got Momento Mori, as a 6 songs. We had many more songs that we were considering recording, but those were the ones that we had rehearsed up the best. We got a lot of material over the years that we've revisited or held on to, or new material that we just recently have written as well. But now we've been getting ready to play a couple shows because of the distance between us and the logistics. It's a little bit more difficult to play right now. So we've been focusing more on the online, the release of the album, making music video. We just released Alpha and Omega music video, which has been pretty successful for us as well.
Right.
And then really learning what streaming is, because back in the day,
Yeah.
Even
in 2006, it wasn't really a thing. I mean, there was MySpace, but that you could put some songs on there, I think. I don't know. I didn't dabble in it back then, but I think that's nothing compared to what streaming is as we know it today.
Yeah, and when we were going strong back in the day, it was tour coast to coast nonstop. I mean, the last 3 years, I mean, we were averaging 256 dates a year that we were playing coast to coast. And now, don't get me wrong, it's not like it was all arenas or anything. Actually, no arenas, but I mean, we were clubbing for the most part. There were some festivals in there that got to several tens of thousands in attendance, but we were making a living at it unsuccessfully, as far as we weren't getting rich.
Yeah.
but we were surviving.
But you were surviving off it, which is what counts too. It keeps you on the
Yeah.
road, yeah. And you can still play, like you said, clubs, or maybe some theaters. You could open for some people, or maybe some people would open for you and pay to play or whatever. You could make it work.
Yeah, and that was I mean, there was label interest. It was all really, really hot right there at the end. And then I know we were talking to Sony and Columbia originally, and then Sony was, their parent company was checking us out amongst other labels, and that's when it just all kind of fizzled out on us. And we had 6 months to wait for new money on their budget. They had fired the head of Columbia. Sony's president was going to kind of managing both until they got a replacement. So then it was really contentious within the company, and that's right when I think they fired the Columbia guy like the day we showed up in New York to showcase.
Wow. All those behind the scene changes, yeah, which you can
So
tell, which affected you guys obviously, because then I guess you got a little bit disheartened and you said, okay, well, because it's kind of interesting that you were about to on the cusp of being signed and take it to another level, and then this happened behind the scenes, and then you were like, okay, we need to take a break, kind of thing.
yeah, the break came, and within a 6-month period, the Sound the Fury just everybody went their separate ways. I myself just said I'll never play again, because that was, in my opinion, the best guys to play with. They're the best songwriters. I didn't want to reinvent it and turn it into something else, or play with other guys. Although, I mean, I'm a musician, true and true. I felt like after playing with that high of a caliber of musicians, I didn't want to start over with another group, So, and I meant it out of respect to the guys more than I was trying to be a jerk.
Yeah. No, it's
But,
good, because a lot of people would just do something else and maybe reconstruct the band as with other people, other singers, other drummers, other guys, or do something solo, join another band. There's lots you could have done as you wanted, as you mentioned, but at the same time, you decide to raise a family, which is, amazing too. And it's kind of a, another path. It's very rewarding in another way. So you did what you had to do.
Yeah, and everybody kind of went that way. Jeff was able to continue to make a career out of making music, but he also was raising a family himself, or started raising a family. So we all have these teenagers now that we are living this with and experiencing with, and they're kind of discovering the Sound of the Fury because we didn't have kids back then. So all these
Right.
kids came after the band went on hiatus, and they knew we played guitar, but we're their dads, you know.
Yeah, you're just the boring dads. Oh, that's your grandpa music. That's your old man music from the might as well be the 50s.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden when they so back May
If they hear
5th of
"Fuck the Earth," your latest song, they might change their mind. Maybe not. Oh, Dad, you're just trying to swear to sound cool.
yeah, it's kind of weird experiencing it vicariously through them experiencing it, because all of a sudden, they see us in a new light.
Yeah,
Every one of the members has their kids seeing them differently, and especially on stage. Jeff is a great front man. He knows how to work a crowd. He can build a crowd up and talk to a crowd amazingly. I mean, I couldn't do it, but to have his kids there and watch him in front of a sold out, I think it was our last show down in Pittsburgh, Kansas, which was a big hotbed for us. We sold out their casino there. I think it was 600, 650 in the casino. We were the headlining act,
nice.
and to see them sing the songs back to us almost louder than what we were, right? And to have his children experience that, have our John Floyd, our drummer, have his teenage sons, one of his teenage sons, one of them's 21 now, but experience that and see that live and get the goosebumps from it. It's just it's amazing to experience for us that there's interest in us again. And it was cool to share that with our kids as well. And obviously Drake, him playing with us, and that was his first show to play a
Oh, wow.
casino to a sold out crowd. So it was a
Yeah.
neat experience for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that the so since coming back, obviously we had COVID before this, but you guys just after COVID in the most recent months, you guys got together to make this new record. So beyond that show at the casino in Kansas and Pittsburgh, did you play any other shows, or is it just the first one? Are you kind of booking stuff coming up in 2024 or next year?
So we did do a show in Kansas City, and it was a success as well. And we flew Jeff in to play that, and then we've been really focusing on doing the music video. That was a big priority for us. Now we've been focusing more on shows. It's a little bit, back in the day we were young and we could just get in a van and with almost no money and just earn money on the
Yeah.
road, right? And
Yeah.
hope you sold enough T-shirts and hope you
Yeah.
saw, you know.
Just enough to
And
buy a hot dog
nowadays,
at the end and feed you all.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's crazy because, we all got mortgages and jobs and, families. So there has to be a little bit more logic put into it and a little bit more, there's a little bit more logistics behind it. But we do have a show next Saturday down in Pittsburgh again, actually, big festival down there that they're throwing. And we're working with a booking agent here in Kansas City that does kind of the regional area. And we've been stringing stuff together. Nothing that I can announce beyond the show in Pittsburgh, but logistically, it's a little bit more difficult. And for whatever reason, like, people are complaining about, the cost of everything, but nobody's paying bands anymore. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I know.
the band, the wage or the earnings for a band is pretty much the same back when we were playing in the early 2000s. That was shocking to us. And with this shift towards online, towards streaming, towards YouTube, you know I don't know how bands are. I will say this, Chad, it's been almost refreshing now to not have any pressures, to
Yeah.
not have to worry about all of like the band surviving as a career. Now we can just focus on making music and being friends,
Right.
and that is such a the business was so tough back in the day, and there was so much thought put into it that, I mean, we were still making music and still writing songs and recording, but there was all it was part of the pressures that led to us taking a hiatus. Where now, I mean, we've got almost 50 other songs in the bag that we'd like to release, and
Wow.
I mean, we just
You're on
keep
a
writing
creative
and keep
run.
writing.
Yeah, you're on a
Yeah,
creative run right now, creative focus. That's cool.
yeah. And all the guys. I have to brag about the guys for a minute, but like John Floyd, he's probably, in my opinion, the best. It's like playing with the best drummer in Kansas City or in the Midwest. He's an amazing drummer, and you said you've listened to the tracks.
Hmm.
What he does on drums is just inspiring to us. He can play
Yeah.
a beat, and I'll write a riff to the beat instead of introducing a riff to a drummer. It's playing with a musician instead of playing with a guy who's accenting the guitar riff.
Exactly. Like he starts playing something and then that inspires you got a riff that kind of matches that or something that will sound cool to complement that. I'm not a musician, but I'm assuming that's how you're framing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He
Yeah.
he inspires songs, and then Jeff brings songs to the table and melody. We, Jeff as a lead singer, he is. I mean, I know him in the band, but he's my favorite lead singer. I mean, I
Nothing wrong
love,
with that, yeah. Self-promotion,
yeah,
nothing wrong with that, yeah.
and
Be weird
he
if you
can.
said somebody else was.
I mean, I love music of all types. I listen to all a variety of stuff, but I love listening to Jeff sing. He just has a soulful voice. He has a frontman
Yeah, he
personality,
does. Yeah.
and he can fill an arena with his voice, and he's got the hooks and the sing along lyrics that he makes a fan out of me, and I'm standing next to him when we play,
Mhm.
right? And I'm his
That's-
big. I'm cheering him on. So everybody is extremely talented in the group, and I've always tried to keep up with those guys.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And that's keeps pushing you, which pushes them, and that's a great dynamic to have too, which a lot of bands don't have that, right? And you can tell, but that's a cool thing to have, and then you can admit that you have that.
Yeah, it's like magic. I think it's like the last form. We think we figured everything out now with like the ego of man, right? Or the
Yeah.
human brain. We figured out how to get to the moon or Mars. We haven't gotten there yet, maybe the Mars, but we think we figured it out. But there's something that is soulful about music that you almost it's still magical. I don't, it takes you back. You can reminisce, and with these guys the old songs are new again, writing new songs. I know the music industry's changed, and I know the industry, the business side of everything's changed, or what's cool has changed. Maybe we're just, washed up dad rock for all I know. But
There'd
the
be a whole
feeling,
category for that too. You could flourish in that too. Washed up dad rock. That's a new one. Guys from 2000s or beyond, just around the 2000s, the new metal era that turned into rock. Now they're the washed up dad rock. The Limp
yeah, I don't know.
Bizkits and the Corns,
Yeah,
Disturbs.
and isn't it weird that like all these bands that are coming back are those the legacy bands, and I
And
mean I'm
that's the
not.
legacy now. I mean, you think about the legacy bands in the 70s and then of course the 80s, but now these late 90s, 2000 bands are legacy bands. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Where's the
yeah,
time
it's
going?
crazy to me.
Yeah, me too.
Where's the music industry except for a very it's like the elites are even more elite, and the middle working bands seem almost non-existent to me. You still have
Hmm.
local live music, pockets of live music, but post COVID, and whether it's the economy or whatever it is, in the early 2000s there was so much support for live music. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like a Kansas City wasn't a huge live music area, I guess, by terms of other places that we visited. It wasn't Austin, right? It wasn't Nashville. It wasn't
Yeah.
L.A.
Yeah, it wasn't the other ends of the coast. It wasn't New York or LA, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you had a live music scene that was thriving at the time, and being removed from it for so long by choice, right? And then now just dabbling our foot back into it to see what's out there. Um, I'm a little bit disappointed because I'm out of touch with it's my own fault. It's my own fault. I'm out of touch, right? But the technology side of it has taken over some of the live music aspect that I think, if can you some of these songs are great that people are making, don't get me wrong, but can they do it live? Can you
Yeah,
go
I'm gonna bet
see it
no.
live?
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many
And
people running. That's a whole other conversation we can get into, but there's so many people running tracks, running laptops, running all kinds of samples and stuff that it's just nothing's going to be real anymore. And sadly, that's more the norm than people playing live, and that's really sad to me because when I want to go see a show, I want to see the show how they play now. If I want to hear the disc or something sampled, I can stay at home and flip the CD. If people don't
that
even know what a CD is anymore, but or sorry, stream the song, I can just do that. You know what I
that
mean?
was why it was so important for this album Momento Mori or EP to to try to do it live instead of piece it together like the old Pro Tools way. I mean,
Hmm.
we still used all the technology in the studio that was available to us, but we wanted to capture the songs live, even the guitar solo and Fuck the Earth, that was just done live with the band playing. I mean, I'm extremely proud of it because these new songs, they get to the point quicker. They're they're shorter songs. I mean, dare I say, I think they're radio friendly, other than the title "Fuck the Earth," maybe.
You can find a workaround.
Yeah, but where's rock radio at too? It used to
Yeah.
be that rock radio existed. Now everything's like a streaming radio station of some type, right?
Yeah, it's all owned by
So
one major corporation like Comcast or something like that, and that's it. It's
yeah,
everyone has the same playlist now. It's all owned by one or right across the country. So if
yeah,
you
but
don't break into that, you're not gonna get played. Fortunately,
yeah,
sadly.
and I don't know how to break into that, but I do know that these guys are the guys. This music that we're creating, I'm extremely fortunate to have it exist again in my life, and I wouldn't want to do anything. I mean, we all feel extremely blessed to have our friendships back, to make music again together, and to stand next to each other, and to be part of the Sound of the Fury again. I mean, they're my best friends that I was missing for many many years. Didn't even know that I was really missing them until having them back, and then it's like
Yeah.
it's extremely comforting, and to do it with my son is like such a blessing to share a stage with them, to go to the studio with them, to make these recordings, so that way he has the experience, he's learning from the process, and he can look back later in life and remember these experiences with his father. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is
No,
weird to say that I'm as it's
yeah.
odd to say.
No, it's very cool, and hopefully he has that too. Maybe one day all you guys can get replaced by all the members of the band, all the sons in the band can replace you all when you can't get up on stage anymore. Your broken bones, your voice is gone. You can have all the boys get up there and do this
Yeah, I could
new
be like Leonard Skinner,
the
right?
sound
We're
of the
touring
exactly
with,
the sound of the Fury 2.0. I can see it happening. I'm already booking shows.
yeah, yeah, it's
with the
crazy.
with the time that we have left, because Zoom only lets me talk for so long here, and it's been a great conversation for sure. But talk to me about a bit about the two new songs, of course, Alpha Omega. Why did you choose that one as the first one? I guess to kind of reintroduce people to the sound and the Fury. Why was that one? And basically, why did you choose these songs to kind of represent when you had different ones? They're all strong songs. Why did you feel so strongly about Alpha Omega to kind of lead it off?
Well, when we were in the studio, Jeff's vocal harmonies, we didn't know that he was going to, do the vocal harmonies that he did. And we were taking a break. We'd stepped away, came back in, and the producer and engineer had already moved on to the next song. And he's like, "Hey, you got to listen to this. Jeff, come out of the booth. Come show the guys what you did on Alpha and Omega." And we'd recorded all these songs without vocals, so we were well rehearsed enough to do that. But it's a little bit different when you don't have your singer there.
Yeah.
So when we heard what he did, we thought, man, this song's got something. This is good. And we already were working with Kevin Mellon and HMX Live. There was already discussions about doing a music video, so we had to pick a song, and that one just everybody kind of agreed that's going to be the song we our first introduction back in, right? So, or back to the public. So, we have other songs that we equally feel strong about. I mean, these songs all have their own special place to us. That song we thought would just be a great introduction back to the world. So there was nothing. I guess Jeff's vocals. So I guess what I'd say is he was such a good singer on it that we thought that'd be the one.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you too. And then of course, Fuck the Earth was the next one, the latest video. So how what made you choose, I guess, to do a video for this one as well too? Because videos, I mean, you can do a video very easily now, but I mean, most people or some are doing a video for every song on the record, some are just taking one or two. Are you doing one for all songs on the record, or is it just these two is going to be your singles?
So we did. We've done by now. We've released lyric videos for all 6 songs on the album, but we did release an actual music video for Alpha and Omega, and we would like to work back with Kevin again. He's a amazing director. He's also a graphic artist, and see what he has in mind for Fuck the Earth. It's got a lot of the vocals have a lot of good imagery.
Yeah, they do.
to bring to mind, and I mean, it's tongue in cheek. Don't get me wrong, but
Well, it's funny because you mentioned earlier about going to Mars. Like we have all these things that we're doing or can do or about to do, and then this is part of the lyrics in the song is that we should just say like it is, fuck the Earth, let's all go to Mars and basically ruin that planet.
yeah, that's kind of what Jeff
Which
was
I
going
love.
like.
That. Yeah, that's great lyrics writing on that one for sure.
His sarcasm throughout the whole album. Jeff likes to give you both sides of the debate in one song. He wrapped that up into a 3.5 minute song, and he'll
Absolutely.
represent both sides where you don't always know where he stands, but you you do realize that both sides are fucked.
Yeah, that's the message I got, and it's perfect too. You might as well just play it on the middle for that, because you're gonna get someone who says this, someone's gonna say that. You know what? This is where everyone's fucked, and that's why you gotta remember that. So just this is
Uh,
how we're gonna tongue in cheek and just, you know what? This is music, and form your own
yeah.
opinion.
And if you don't like it, yeah, because of that, then something's wrong with you, right? I
Yeah,
mean, if so, really, there's always, I always say it's the war of two ideas, and it's always this against that, us against them, whatever topic we're talking about. Usually it's just two opposing sides. And Jeff allows us to sit back and consider. It's almost like a comedian telling a joke, right? It's so uncomfortable, you don't know if you should even laugh to it, but because they took it to an extreme. And Jeff has that ability to take a topic to an extreme and make you think. And those lyrics, like "fuck the earth," when I first heard that, I thought, can you say that?
yeah.
But then I started thinking, why would I question whether you could even say that?
Yeah, exactly. Like
you
you're
know,
you're saying something that probably everybody is thinking that they just don't want or can't say, right?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe it wasn't the greatest idea to like release it on Earth Day, but
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
no,
hilarious.
I'm just
That's
joking. I'm just
perfect.
joking.
Okay.
It
Was
was
it?
like the day after Earth Day, I think,
Oh, it
and I
should
go,
have been on
guys,
Earth Day. Yeah. By the
yeah,
way,
we
fuck the Earth.
but it's just like Jeff has that. He's not telling a joke necessarily. It's just that comedic value of like taking a topic just a step too far. If you believe this, do you believe it this way? And when Jeff sings, sometimes it reminds me of that, and it makes me smile on the inside because he makes me. When I read his lyrics, sometimes when he chooses to share them with me, sometimes I have to figure them out for myself. I'm like, how did he
Nice.
think of that? Right? I just focus on
Yeah.
playing guitar, but he's playing guitar and writing the melody and writing the lyrics to it, and I'm blown away by it because there's intelligence behind it, but it's also digestible in a way that you might be singing the chorus line and not realizing that you're actually singing "fuck the earth."
Yeah, that's 100% true, and especially in a lot of songs too. A lot of people sing stuff they have no idea what it really means or what the singer was really trying to say behind it before. It's fun. But hey, as long as people are into it and they hear it and then they get into it and they connect, even if they love it or hate it, all that matters is that they connect with it and it moves them and something happens, right? So that's kind of why you're doing it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you giving me the time today, though, Chad, and thanks for
Yeah, for
throwing some
sure.
sunshine on the Sound of the Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I let you go, talk to me about where people can. It's out now. It came out on May 17th. We're in June now, so it's out there for a while. Momento Mori is out there. Pick it up. Where can people find you? What socials? Where is the best way for people to connect with your music?
So all the socials have us. I know that TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the Sound the Fury band is the easiest way to find us. Spell it all out: the Sound and the Fury, and then put in band there. You also have YouTube. We've been releasing some videos on YouTube, some commentary stuff of us joking around. John Floyd and I, we're friends and we tease each other a lot. So we didn't want to create like a an image of where we were trying to spoof people. Like you see a lot of people turning a music career out of like jackass videos.
Yeah,
We wanted it to be just about the
absolutely.
music, but
Yeah.
we also wanted to let people know we're back and not,
Show off your
and give them.
personalities, let people know you're around and you're not just musicians, you are, but you also have like real actual personalities behind that musicianship,
And plus,
musicians.
we don't take each other that seriously. I mean,
Yeah,
we're a bunch of jackasses at the end of the day who just love doing what we do, right?
yeah.
So on our YouTube channel, the Sound of the Fury Band, if you look us up on YouTube, there's a lot of videos of us as the songs are being released. We talked about the songs, the kind of the recording process, and or Jeff's lyrical content, or us trying to figure out what the hell he was singing about. But really, it's a lot, and our kids are in it too. Drake's in there, Levi Whitaker, John Floyd's son. He's been helping us out with the technology because us old men don't know what the hell we're doing. So
Right.
he's in it too. So you could check it. We'd appreciate it if everybody could, check us out on Spotify, of course, but also check us out on YouTube.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, I appreciate the time so much, and people should check out the band and check out Alpha Omega. Check out the brand new Memento Mori record, the EP. I hope we can chat again when you release more music. You said you got more stuff coming up, more shows that you didn't want to talk
Absolutely.
about right now, which I understand. But when that happens, we should connect again and keep this going because it's a lot, and there's more stuff to talk about. We only scratched the surface, but there's definitely more to say about the band.
Oh, well, thank you, Chad. I'd love to come back anytime. And the other guys, they'd like to talk to you sometime soon too. It's just they nominated me this time.
And there you go. You're the loser. You're the
Hey, nobody's or somebody's, right?
exactly.
Nobody's
Nobody's
or
are
somebody's.
somebody's, and that's you. We can try to get a 4 panel going on. I've never done more than one, obviously, like I told you. So we can get a 4 panel going on here, 4 or 5 with me in total. That'd be fun too. We don't try and
Yeah,
not
man.
talk over each other. It'd be great.
I'd love to be a guinea pig in doing that. So let us
Yeah,
know when you're ready. We'll do it.
you'll be the first. Awesome, Aaron. Good chatting with you.
All right. Thanks, Chad.
No problem.
Brothers and sisters,